everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Segen. Last week we made 3 easy recipes to help us get through the week. Today we're going to be making 3 easy snacks to go in between those meals. So if you guys are interested to see what snacks I made for the week, continue watching. But first, before we get started, I have to give a major shout out to the following people right over here. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. We finally made it to 40K. I can't thank you guys enough. Your support means everything to me. If you guys aren't subscribed just yet and want a shout out, all you have to do is click the notification bell. Let me know that you did it in the comment section down below, and I'll give you a shout out on my next video. All right, so with that being said, let's get started with today's meal prep. So to get started, snack number 1 is going to be these energy bites. These energy bites are amazing. They're packed with fiber, and I'm gonna be showing you guys different alternatives and options that you guys can substitute the ingredients for. Snack number 2 is going to be my absolute favorite snack in the entire world. I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make crispy, crunchy kale chips. So I've said this a number of times, but I'm a huge fan of savory snacks. That's where I kind of fall into the trap of buying bags of chips, eating a ton of popcorn. To help me get back with more healthier alternatives, I love to snack on kale chips. Kale chips are the best. I can't stop eating them. They're almost entirely done. But what I love most about kale chips is how easy and fast you can make them. I promise you guys, you only need 3 ingredients and you guys will absolutely love it. Lastly, for snack number 3, we're gonna be making these chocolate caramel peanut bites. It's a work in progress with the name. I actually got this recipe from my sister, so major shout out to her. But these vegan chocolate caramel bites are literally like, they literally taste like a Snickers bar. I was actually blown away when she told me about this, so I had to give this a try for myself, and you guys already know I had to share it with you guys. So if you guys are watching this and want more healthier alternatives to snacks, you guys are absolutely gonna love these recipes. But before we get started, I have to give you guys a heads up. I got a lot of feedback on the grocery list that I added in last week's video. Again, if you haven't had a chance to watch last week's meal prep video, I'll leave it right over here and in the description box below. But a lot of you guys really appreciated the grocery list that I added in the description box below, so I did that again for today's video. All right, so without further ado, let's get started with snack number 1. All right, so to get started with the energy bites, you're gonna need the following ingredients. First, we're gonna use some rolled oats. So what you don't wanna do is get the instant 1-minute oatmeal, because those oats will absorb way too much moisture, and we wanna form mini balls. And honestly, rolled oats have more health benefits for you, so I would definitely get some rolled oats. Next, you're gonna need ground flax seeds. I actually just grinded these flax seeds right before recording using a coffee grinder, but you can purchase ground flax seeds at the grocery store. It's really important to make sure that the flax seeds are grinded to make sure that we get all of the nutrients that are in flax seeds, but it literally takes only 2 seconds to grind using a coffee grinder, so I'd encourage you guys to grind them at home. Next, you're gonna need some semi-sweet chocolate chips, some peanut butter. Also, you're gonna need some organic honey to sweeten it up. You're also gonna need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This next ingredient is optional, but I absolutely love chia seeds, so I'm gonna be adding some chia seeds to the energy bites. So now that we have all of our ingredients, it's time to mix everything together. So I'm gonna start off with the rolled oats, the flax seeds, the chocolate chips, the peanut butter, the honey, the chia seeds, and lastly, the vanilla extract. So I'm gonna mix everything together. Honestly, my favorite combo is honey and peanut butter. It's like the best. If you're not a big fan of chocolate, you can always substitute the chocolate chips for raisins or dried cranberries. All right, so now that everything is all mixed in, I'm going to actually seal this with some saran wrap, and I'm gonna let it cool in the fridge for about 20 to 30 minutes. Letting it chill in the fridge for about 20 minutes will help firm up the balls when we start making them. So it's been about 30 minutes, so we're now ready to make our energy bites. So I'm just gonna remove the saran wrap, and I have a spoon to help us out with making the balls. So I'm gonna take about a tablespoon, and we are just gonna form the balls just like that. And that's one energy bite. If you have a ice cream scooper, but like a really small ice cream scooper, then that would work perfectly. But if you don't, you can use a tablespoon like me. And I'm just kind of forming them into a ball like this. And that was our last one. All right guys, and these are our energy bites. Super easy to make, literally didn't take any time. You didn't have to bake them, and they are packed with fiber. So again, you can always substitute the chocolate chips with raisins or dried cranberries if you like, if you're not a fan of chocolate. These are amazing first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee. That's what I'm gonna be doing. But these are amazing treats in between the meal prep that you guys made at the beginning of the week. So if you guys are meal prepping on Monday or Sunday, take the 15 minutes to prepare the energy bites as well, and they will save you when you are hungry in between your meals. Also, again, I'll leave all of the ingredients in the description box below, and all of the measurements I used in the description box below as well. With the measurements that I used in this video, we ended up making 16 energy bites. So again, if you guys want maybe only 8, you can use half of what I used for measurements. And again, all of that information will be linked in the description box below. All right, so now we're ready to move on to the kale chips. So out of the 3 snacks, this is by far my favorite because I love chips. I love popcorn. I'm more of like a savory snack eater, but these kale chips you will absolutely love. So let's get started with washing the kale. So I'm gonna start off with separating the kale from the stem. So I'm just ripping it like that. So we're gonna do this and then rinse off the kale. So now that we've done that, it's time to make sure our kale is nice and washed and clean. So now that the kale is all nice and washed, we are going to let it dry, because if we put it in the oven, it won't come out crispy. It won't come out like a chip texture. So we gotta make sure that the kale is nice and dry. So we're gonna let it dry for a few minutes, and then we are going to season it and then put it in the oven. Before we get started with seasoning the kale, I'm going to preheat the oven at 375. So to get started with our kale, I'm going to add our washed kale onto our baking tray. And I'm just ripping it as I go. Honestly, they don't have to be perfect or the same size, but just going to fill up our tray here. And the only 3 ingredients we're gonna be adding is olive oil, a nice little drizzle of olive oil, and then some salt, and some pepper. And I'm just gonna toss the kale, make sure it's nice and coated with that olive oil. Oh, and my oven just went off, so it's ready for the oven. And I'm going to throw this in the oven for about 8 minutes. Now with the kale that's left over, I'm actually gonna put it in a Ziploc bag, and this is what I was actually trying to explain in my last meal prep video. So I did get a lot of questions with regards to the kale in my meal prep video last week, and what I meant to say was I like to pre-cut. It's almost like I like to pre-cut my kale and put it in a Ziploc bag. That way I save some space in the fridge, but I also freeze my vegetables as well. So that's what I'm gonna be doing with the leftover kale from the kale chips. That way it can be nice and fresh. And this is the final result of the kale chips. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I took a bite and I absolutely love them. They are so good. So, okay, so hear this. Like, legit. Oh my God, this is vegan too. Is everything I made today vegan? So I don't know if you guys heard that crunch, but one more time for good measure. That's my problem. When it comes to snacks, I love savory snacks. Like I mentioned earlier, I love chips, I love popcorn, things like that. I can go on and eat an entire bag of popcorn and chips, but we both know it's obviously not good for you. So these are an amazing alternative. It's like you get the satisfaction of eating healthy, but then the better satisfaction of it tasting really good too. Also, I left it in a little bit longer than 8 minutes. I'd say overall, maybe 12 minutes. Okay, I have to stop. By far, out of the 3 snacks, that took the least time and the least effort. Wow, holy smokes, I want some more. But also with the kale chips, I just want to add that you have control over how much sodium intake, like how much salt you're putting in. So if you guys, for instance, are monitoring like your sodium intake, don't put any salt at all. It will still be crispy and nice. Start out with like a few dates. So to get started, I'm gonna take out the seeds from the dates. And I'm just gonna quickly do this by using a knife, just cutting it in the middle. I'm just gonna take out the seed. Just like that. I'm gonna leave that off to the side, and I'm gonna do the same to the rest. So what makes these bites caramel are the dates. So this snack is completely vegan as well. Awesome, so all we're left with is now a bunch of dates that are seedless, and we're gonna fill them up with peanut butter. Before we get started with filling up the dates with peanut butter, we are going to have to crush some peanuts. And this is where it's gonna really resemble the Snickers bar. So I'm just gonna do a rough chop on the peanuts. So So I just did a rough chop on the peanuts, so now I'm ready to fill up the dates with some peanut butter. I noticed that a lot of recipes that have that caramel flavor have dates in it. Like if you soak up dates and you blend them up, it really does look like toffee or like a rich caramel. Oh my god, my mouth is actually watering. But that's where the kind of caramel aspect comes into play. But these actually do taste like Snickers or even O. Henry. If you're a chocolate lover, if you're into like, you know, getting a chocolate bar and you have like a craving for sweets, this is a great alternative, and it's 100% vegan, and it doesn't actually taste 100% vegan. That's the kicker. So I'm gonna finish up with adding the peanut butter in the center, and I'm going to add the peanuts that we just roughly chopped and sprinkle them inside. So I'm just gonna sprinkle the crushed peanuts inside. Okay, so it looks like that. Just gonna open it up a little bit. Get the crushed peanuts. Oh, I missed one. Whoops. So I'm just gonna put the crushed peanuts inside. And honestly, I know that the holidays are coming up and it's gonna be, you know, a challenge to eat healthy, but it's nice to know that we can meal prep. It's nice to know that, you know, there are, you know, sweet alternatives, so we don't always have to go to, you know, the convenience store or like our impulse buys when we're at the grocery store and pick up like a chocolate bar, which I'm guilty of, by the way. Like I get huge chocolate cravings, like, and when I'm doing my grocery runs and when I'm vlogging and stuff like that, I'll pick up a chocolate bar. My favorite chocolate bar is Crunchy. That's like my favorite, but I also love Snickers. I love O. Henry. I love Mars bars. Like I love chocolate that has caramel. Like I can't have just chocolate by itself. I have to have texture. I have to have like some sort of flavor that complements chocolate, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna melt some dark chocolate and then we're gonna dip the dates into dark chocolate at the bottom, and we are almost done. All of these snacks literally don't take time to make, and you don't have to bake. There's no heat or anything. And honestly, if you guys are watching this and you have kids, like your kids can help you out as well in the kitchen. So I picked up some 72% dark chocolate, and I'm just gonna break these into smaller pieces and melt them, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our dates, we have our melted chocolate. So we also have a baking tray with some parchment paper. I'm actually gonna put them in the freezer for about 30 minutes so everything is nice and set. So I'm gonna get started with grabbing one date, and I'm just going to dip it into the dark chocolate. And then we're gonna place it on the parchment paper like that. There we go. It's okay if the peanuts kind of spill over, it's not that big of a deal. Just so long we can cover the bottom of the dates with that nice dark chocolate. Look how legit this looks, oh my God. You guys have to make this. And I always get comments about doing more vegan meals, and honestly, it's a bit of a struggle for me because I'm not a vegan, but if vegans like eat this good, then your girl might just become a vegan. I don't know. So I'm gonna pop these into the freezer for about 30 minutes, and then after the 30 minutes, we are going to have mini chocolate bars, essentially. Isn't that crazy? Well, it's been about 30 minutes. I'm gonna take out the chocolate caramel peanut bites out of the freezer because these should be ready by now. my God, wow. Look at that. Wow, okay, so I have to try one. Oh my God. That tastes good. Legit tastes like Snickers, I promise you. It tastes like Snickers. Oh my God. All right, so I'm just gonna plate these. Oh my God. You guys have to try this, especially if you're a chocolate lover and you're really craving like a chocolate bar, like I mentioned earlier. You have to try this out, and it's super, super easy to make. Let me know which snack was your favorite. I think it's pretty obvious which snack out of the three is my favorite. I love all of them, but definitely those kale chips are a must try. Kale chips, anyway, I can talk about kale chips for days. So that wraps up today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys like this video, give this video a big thumbs up. I also made a playlist of all the cooking vlogs I made on this channel for you guys to watch. I'll link it right over here and in the description box below. Remember to subscribe for more cooking videos, beauty hauls, and weekly vlogs every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!